For more on this story, let's welcome in GolfChannel.com senior writer Rex Hoggard. Rex, what are you hearing?
Well, this goes back to last week when these rumors really started, Damon. And when I talk to people who are involved with these negotiations, despite which side they're on, they look at what this could possibly be as nothing more than leverage for the public investment fund. If they were able to sign a top player like a Jon Rahm, that would clearly motivate the PGA Tour to come back to the table. And it goes back to what I heard from a lot of different people on the Live Golf side in October at their tour championship at Doral. They felt like that the negotiations had pretty much fallen apart. Now we fast forward to where we are right now. As Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, said last week on CNBC, he intended to meet with the governor of the Public Investment Fund this week. I don't think the timing is suspect here. I think you can look directly at this announcement as far as we get closer to it and connect those to the ongoing negotiations.
Rex, what do you think this means for the PGA Tour?
Rich, I kind of pointed this out in a column on Monday. I talked to a lot of people who are involved with these negotiations, and I think it comes down to four options for the PGA Tour. And you can get kind of long-winded with this, but if you look at it, the Tour can move forward either with some sort of deal with just the public investment fund, and that comes with a lot of pros and some cons as well. Or they could go with one of the three private equities that are still remaining and are still in conversations with the PGA Tour. Again, there's a lot of pros and cons when it comes to that. But everyone I talked to pointed the best case scenario right now for the PGA Tour is to go into business with some sort of combination between the private equity, whichever one of the three remaining, and the public investment fund. Now that takes care of a lot of problems. Right now, you look at the Department of Justice investigation into possible antitrust violations is probably the biggest concern. If you just go it alone with the PIF, if there's some sort of other private equity involved, that would help with those investigations. And you're also looking at what I was called patient money. What they want is a long-term investment. They don't want this to be the normal 10-year investment that you see with these types of investments. They want this to be almost like a lifetime deal. That would be the best case scenario. Now, the fourth option, which really isn't an option at all, that's for the Tour to do nothing. And we all know that that's really not possible right now.
From what you're hearing, Rex, I mean, Jon Rahm, one of the biggest names in the game. Is there concern, perhaps, with the PGA Tour that this could be, the first or the latest of a flood of players to leave the PGA Tour for Live?
I think that's certainly the case. I think that's certainly been the case all along. You go back to June 6th, the framework agreement had it written in that each side could not, quote unquote, poach any more players. Now that was taken out of the framework agreement. That is certainly because of the Department of Justice didn't like the wording of that. And you look at where we are right now in the investigations. And from what we're hearing, it's just not going to be Jon Rahm, that there's the possibility that he could take a team with him. And from what I was told from the Live Golf side, they have room for two more teams. So in theory, you could look at another wave of players leaving the PGA Tour to go to Live Golf. And that's certainly something that the PGA Tour does not want to have to wrestle with right now. So again, you can see why this has the potential to be such an important leverage play for the public investment fund.
Wow.
Yeah. That's hard to wrap your head around all that is happening in professional golf at the moment. And Rex, thank you. We'll continue to monitor what's happening and wait for your reports.